Year 7. You squirmed at the start of term when Mr. Dyer talked about commitment and marriage. Well, today is not your day, as today I will be talking about my breasts. Well, more specifically, some abnormal cells in my left breast. I apologise to all of you who may feel uncomfortable with the words I use or the experiences I describe. And I apologise particularly to those of you for whom my story is too close to an experience you have been through yourself or with friends and family where the outcome was less positive. Cancer is not contagious. You can't catch it. Cancer is entirely personalised. The reaction is in your cells. It begins where one small part of the body has taken a decision which can destroy the rest. On the evening of Friday the 7th of December last year, I was being extra careful to shave my arms properly as I was attending a ball at the Caravelle that evening, when I felt a small lump in my left breast, just here. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it wasn't right, and when something isn't right, you seek the help of someone who knows better. And thus began a roller coaster of appointments. I saw the doctor on Monday, who immediately got me to have an ultrasound. 2 days later, I had a mammogram. And ladies, as this is something you're likely to face in the future, a mammogram is an X-ray of your breasts achieved by squashing them between contracting plastic plates. It's not pleasant. Well, actually, I had 6, because the lump we could see there wouldn't actually show up. But based on the ultrasound results, the next stage was a consultant. And as I was due to go home to England for my first Christmas with my family since starting here at BIS, I arranged to see one there. So the first week of the holidays involved another ultrasound, another mammogram, well 4, and a biopsy, where a small sample of cells are extracted for testing. This took 5 attempts at my hard-to-hit lump, and I did discover it's possible to go woozy and nearly pass out whilst already lying down. Who knew? At the end of the first week, I had the news that my lump was cancerous. 3 days after Christmas, I had my first ever operation, a wide area excision, and for a squeamish person, having dissolvable stitches beneath a dressing which is transparent did not make for pleasant viewing. At this point, it was still a waiting game on what the pathology results would show. And on the 7th of January, my 38th birthday, I received good news. My cancer hadn't spread. The tumour was only 13 millimetres in diameter, which is classed as stage 1, the first stage, and this meant I'd caught it early. The less good news was that the tumour was classed as triple negative, which means it's in the 15% of breast cancer where they don't yet know what feeds it. All that we do know is it's not fed by hormones or HER2 receptors. It was also a grade 3 tumour, the most aggressive kind. Being under 40, this meant the best course of long-term preventative care would involve a second operation to improve the margins of good cells taken from around the tumour, and courses of chemotherapy and radiotherapy. There are people here who know what this involves, but for those of you that have wondered and haven't or wouldn't like to ask, this next section is for you. Chemotherapy involves being given a series of drugs intravenously over the course of hours, and in my case, 1 day a week on 6 3-week cycles. The chemicals aim to destroy fast-dividing cancer cells. Unfortunately, they also attack perfectly good cells. Thankfully, after the first treatment, they changed my anti-sickness drugs, and I was lucky that I had fewer side effects than some. I can tell you that whatever goes in one colour comes out that colour, and so the blue dye from the operation that dyed my skin has finally faded, and the bright red nature of the drug epirubicin gave me a shock each time on the first post-chemo visit to the toilet. Really not pleasant. The most noticeable side effect of chemotherapy is hair loss. I had a preemptive cut and was able to send my hair to a charity that made real hair wigs for children with cancer. The greatest injustice of the whole process is losing almost all the hair from your head and still needing to shave your legs. Again, who knew? There were some truly bad hair days along the way. The fun part was the Facebook game that involved guessing what shapes people could see in the back of my head when it was properly falling out, before I admitted defeat and had it shaved. I went on a course on how to tie scarves, height matters, and look after your wig. I went on another course that came with a whole bunch of free makeup and learnt the importance of blusher and how to draw in your eyebrows. I spent my time avoiding infection, the main aim of any chemotherapy patient. This mostly involved staying in my mum and dad's house, washing my hands thoroughly and regularly, and using a saltwater mouthwash after I ate or drank anything to avoid the return of the mouth ulcers that first came after 6 weeks. And I slept. I spent time getting to know my parents as adults. It had been 20 years since I lived at home. I rode an exercise bike for 15 kilometres 3 times a week. I drew something and worded with friends. I saw the seasons change and Dad's vegetables grow. I watched a lot of different detectives solve a surprisingly similar number of murders. I wrote a blog. I read and replied to emails and Facebook messages. I crushed a lot of candy. And I slept. I marked exam papers. I set lessons. I wrote exam papers. I Skyped for department staff and extended essay meetings. I slept a lot. Medical fatigue for someone who has made full use of their time is a steep learning curve. I knitted. I watched several cricket tournaments. I slept some more. I finished chemotherapy and started radiotherapy. 20 sessions, Monday to Friday, for 4 weeks, 10 minutes at a time. The preparation for this involved an MRI scan and 3 tattoos, here, here, and here. These enable radiographers to line up the machine with their green lasers accurately. The treatment involves lying on the machine with my top off, yes, year 7, I'm half naked at this point, with my arms above my head, and being blasted for 15 to 20 seconds on 2 angles to effectively sterilise the area. I'm still moisturising and have to spend the next year with the area covered and sunscreened whenever I'm outside. I got so used to walking into the room and taking my top off, I have to admit I very nearly embarrassed myself at the dentist. And that's the facts, and it's a bit rubbish to live through, but I trust the advice that in the long term, aggressive treatment is for the best. In truth, there are a number of benefits to my time back home. I have a much closer relationship to my parents. I got to see lots of my grandparents, who won't be here much longer. I reconnected with 2 of my school friends who took me out each week on a mosaic course. They did also like trying my wig on. We held a school reunion in my honour, and over half the year group came. A bonus, as last time we tried there were 4 of us. On the first day after my chemo treatment captivity was over, I was able to go to the first date in Neil Gaiman's Ocean at the End of the Lane tour. I saw the boilers removed from the world's first commercial nuclear power station just outside the town. I saw the vegetables harvested, and I went grommet spotting with friends in Bristol. And I got presents, lots of them, from lots of wonderful people from all around the world. Their kindness and generosity was heartwarming and incredibly humbling. I had clear targets: to get back here for the start of the academic year, to be allowed a weekend away during radiotherapy to see Mr. Cullen and Mr. Turner race in their Ironman in Frankfurt, and most importantly for me, to get a day off radiotherapy to make use of my tickets for the first 2 days of the Ashes cricket between England and Australia. So I stand here before you today and think that I'm lucky. I'm lucky I got to experience all of those benefits. I'm lucky I had insurance that meant I got the diagnosis and operation straight away. I'm lucky I had a chemotherapy with fewer side effects than others. I'm lucky to have been treated by incredibly lovely staff and to have made excellent chemo buddy friends. I'm lucky that everyone I spoke to in the hospital waiting rooms was supportive with uplifting tales of their own. I'm lucky I didn't have to spend my treatment knowing there were cancer still inside me. Although it has been said that the harder you work, the luckier you become. And so the alternative view may be that I worked very hard at finding positives where others may not. I do, however, find it hard to express how incredibly thankful I am. Thankful that I had access to experts I could trust. Thankful for the time people gave in emailing, Skyping, playing games, visiting, and helping me keep working. Thankful I made it back. Thankful for family to look after me, charities that made it all seem doable, and for my friends, many of whom are in the room today, who believed in me and understood my need for slightly inappropriate humour to keep me sane. When posting online that my treatment was over, many friends were telling me I was an inspiration, and this is a label I am extremely uncomfortable with. In my head, I got through it by simply doing what I was told. Statistics tell me that I won't be the only one in the room here today who has to go through this, in whole or in part, at some point. I can't tell you why I got breast cancer. I can't tell you my cancer definitely won't come back. I can't tell you my chances. I opted out of knowing a number, it won't change things. I can't tell you with any degree of certainty what I should be doing to prevent it coming back. It could be eat more oily fish, more spinach, drink less to no alcohol, don't eat sugar, don't get stressed, have children, don't have children. I don't know. I can't tell you how you would react in a similar situation. I can tell you that there are some brilliant brains in the room, and someone here may figure out the science, or someone here may understand the correlations in the statistics of a meta-analysis of the data that moves research forward. Someone here may be in a position to improve public health policies that improve access to treatment for all. I can tell you that when you're told to check yourself, embarrassing as it may sound, you should. I can tell you that I am here today because I caught it early and I didn't ignore the problem. I had access to quality medical care. I had the most amazing support network who believed in me. I can say for certain that I wouldn't wish this on any of you, but I hope that if your time comes, you have the same. Thank you.